Hi gang. Here we are again. It's a Monday morning, Silver Sneakers class. We're just gonna go through a little workout like we normally do. Hopefully you have your music and you're ready to go. Maybe some props. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's start by just warming up with a little march here. Getting our arms swinging. And then let's reach for the edges. Getting a nice stretch to the side. I was sure to shave my armpits today, in case you were wondering. Just this morning, I was ready to go. I'm sure you all wanted to know that. And back to our march. Keeping your belly button pulled in, your chest nice and proud. Oh no.
Social distancing.
Yeah, he's keeping his distance.
Keep it up, guys. Good work.
And a little modified jumping jack here. Or you could do the old school version. It's nice to see Josh, Sean. And march. Little twist here. Just warming up our backs. And then some nice big arm circles. Remember, you can also be here if those big circles feel like a little bit too much for today. And let's switch directions. And we'll go back to our marching. So I'm wondering what you guys have been doing to stay busy. Aside from, just watching my videos over and over, working out. My daughter and I have been going completely bananas on our house and our yard. We rearranged the furniture. Let's go ahead and do some little hamstring curls here. Just kicking your feet back up towards your butt. If you want to throw a little punch in there, you're welcome to. And back to our marching. Swinging the arms. Should be starting to feel a little warmer. Then we're going to take our feet hip distance apart and sit our hips back. Just a little top part of a squat. Getting those glutes and quads ready to go. Really sitting your hips back. Pressing your hips forward, squeezing your glutes at the top. Of course, we're always keeping our core pulled in, right? Just a few more. And back to our march. Go ahead and march on back to your chair. Have a seat. Grab a little sip of water. then we're gonna grab our ball. We're gonna start here, elbow to knee. Just squeezing together. You can also do this seated, totally fine. Only doing the range of motion that you feel comfortable with. If you need some help with your balance, you could be here, just holding onto the chair. And then the other side. Squeezing together, seated or standing, totally up to you. Opposites. I don't know if anyone watched the yoga video we posted, I think it was last week, it's hard to keep track of time. But I did a class with Miley. She was having us do some cross-body patterning. And it was a really, really hard challenge. Good, and rest. Then we're gonna take the ball, pretend like we're picking it up and putting it on the shelf. So you're gonna come onto your tiptoes here. Remember, you're really sitting your hips back and then putting it away. If you're staying seated, you'll just lean forward and lift up. Really focusing on pulling the belly button in, keeping the core nice and straight. This is just practicing those good body mechanics for when you're cleaning out the garage or the closet. Good, and then we'll go to a little halo. Right here, just warming our shoulders up, getting a nice full range of motion, keeping your abs engaged, and switch directions. Nice job. Right back here, opposite elbow, opposite knee. Squeezing the abs in the middle. It's like you're wringing out a wet towel. And switch. Really squeeze. And pick it up, put it away. Remember to use your chair if you need it. From the side, making sure you're really sitting your hips back. It's going down as deep as you feel comfortable. And our halo. Seated or standing. And switch directions. Really picked a lot of moves to show off my armpits today. And rest. One more round, right? Elbow to knee. Remember, you could be using any prop here if you don't have a ball. Seated is fine. Maybe you feel like towards the third round you want to sit, that's fine. And switch. And then we'll put it away. Pick it up on the shelf. Coming onto our tiptoes. That feels good to you. Remember, the first thing is always listening to your body. Talked last week about cleaning out the Tupperware cabinet. My daughter did it. Looks magnificent. I feel like by the time this is over, anyone can open any drawer or cupboard in our house. It's going to be really pretty impressive, like someone else lives there. And rest. And we're going to our halo. Last time here. Really getting the shoulders nice and warm. And a few shoulder moves coming up with weight, so we want to be ready. And switch directions. Good. Go ahead, have a seat. Put your ball away. Grab a sip of water, and then grab your band. Now remember, you can do these moves without a band. Maybe just use a towel and you just put a little tension. You won't get that pulling apart, but you can still engage those muscles. So we're going to start with a pull part. So here are your options. First option, if your shoulders bother you, you're just going to pull right out in front. Just give it a little pull. Holding that towel, if that's what you're using. If your shoulders feel fine, you're going to keep that shoulder width distance and then pull down and out. Right here. Just squeezing the back muscles. Of course, only if it does not bother your shoulders. Otherwise, right here, totally fine. Really squeezing at the bottom, giving it a little hold. Nice work. And then we're going to keep our hands right where they are, about shoulder width. We're going to pretend like we're paddling out on a paddle boat. If you're seated, no big deal. You're paddling a canoe. Totally up to you. You can just do your upper body, or you can get your lower body involved as well. Just as little or as much as you want. Keeping your abs engaged. And rest. And of course, we can never forget this one. It's our penguin move. Again, you don't have to have the band for this, but you're just pressing out, one side at a time. So if your balance is feeling good today, you want to just balance on one leg, press it out with the other, that's fine. Or, little squat, and just step, side to side. With or without a band, totally fine. Keeping your shoulders rolled up, back and down. Keeping your belly button pulled in. Always engage those abs. And rest. Back to where we started. We have our pull part, shoulder width distance. Starting up here, pulling down, or just pulling in the front. Totally up to you. Squeezing the back. Belly button's pulled in. And rest. Keeping your hands right where they are, paddling out. Letting your legs get as involved as you want them to. Really sitting your hips back into it if you want. And rest. Then we go back to our little penguin move. You can also do this seated, still just pressing out one leg at a time, or stepping from side to side. Also welcome to just press out one leg at a time. Belly button's pulled in, abs engaged, and rest. One more round. Right here, starting in the front, pulling down and out, squeezing the back, really getting those lats involved. Third round should feel the hardest. If it's not feeling challenging yet, try to make it a little harder. And rest. Then we go back to our paddling out move, seated or standing. Abs engaged. Letting the legs work if you want them to. And rest. One more time with those penguins. This is my favorite one to picture you guys doing. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and then press out. You can also just stay squatted right here. Whichever one feels best to you today, or you can switch it up. Totally fine as well. Really should be feeling the burn in those glutes right about now. And rest. Go ahead and take your band, fold it in half, and attach it to your chair. Have a seat. Grab a little sip of water. And then grab a nice light weight. So, if you don't have a weight, I showed you the soup can trick, right? You can use that instead, totally fine. We're gonna start here with a rear delt fly. So we're gonna have one knee here, our hand is pressed nice and firm into the surface that we're on, and we're gonna come right here. So from the front, you'll see I'm only coming up to shoulder height. And it should be light enough that you can hold it out there. If it's too heavy to hold out, it's too heavy. This is totally fine to do with no weight at all. Just going through the range of motion is going to be good. And come on up. Some big shoulder rolls. Come to the other side. Setting it up. Pulling the belly button in. Keeping the abs engaged. And then rear delt fly. And also do these seated. You would just be right here. And rest. Next move, we've got some bicep curls. So we start by rolling the shoulders up, back, and down. Chest is nice and proud. And then curl right here in the front. Slow and controlled down. Good little pause at the top. Keeping the abs engaged. Shoulders back. One more. And rest. And we're going to come here. We've got our sumo squat, upright row. So you can roll your shoulders up, back and down. Toes are turned out. We're coming here. Remember, if you do not have a weight, we've got our DIY weight. It's just a jug with some water in it. You make it as heavy or as light as you want. You can always just do the upper body part. Totally fine. One more. And rest. Then we go right back to our rear delt fly, soup can or weight, whatever works for you. Just the range of motion is also fine. Right here. One more. Come on up, big shoulder rolls. And the other side. And rest. Some big shoulder rolls. Grab your weights for your bicep curls or 2 soup cans, whatever works. If you have a band and no weights, you can also do bicep curls on the band. Totally works. Right here, little twist at the top. Keeping that belly button pulled in. One more. And rest. Then we go to our sumo squat, upright row. You can use your water jug. You get thirsty, you can take a little sip out of it. Couple more here. Remember that you're sitting your butt back, keeping your back straight. And rest. One more round. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Rear delt flies last time. And come on up. Some shoulder rolls. Go to the other side. Keeping that belly button pulled in nice and tight. One more. And rest. Some nice big shoulder rolls. Go ahead and grab your weights for your bicep curls. Last time here. It's curling right up to the front. Little pause. Slow and controlled on the way down. Back is straight. Abs engaged. Shoulders back. Do two more. Last one, they should feel heavy. Rest. Sumo squat, upright row, with whatever equipment you have available there, or none at all, totally fine. Down and up. Elbows are just coming up to shoulder height. One more. And rest. Good job. Have a seat. Grab a little sip of water. Maybe pet your dog or cat if you have your pets there with you. And then we're going to go back to our ball. Go ahead and grab it. Come a little bit closer. We're going to start here, just squeezing in the middle. Pressing our palms together. Squeezing, letting your hands get involved. Almost there. And rest. In between the knees, right above them, you're going to squeeze in. Keeping your abs engaged, shoulders back. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And you guys want to come out of this able to just crush a watermelon. We're stop and take a little peek down at our feet. We're making sure that our toes are in line with our knees, everything's lined up perfectly, and then you have the choice to either stand all the way up and sit all the way down, or you can reach back and just tap the chair and then stand up. If you look at it from the side, it's really important that your knees aren't coming out over your toes. So you're either sitting down and standing up or reaching back and tapping, but this isn't happening, or here. So if you get down and you can't get back up, well, you're sitting in a chair, no big deal. Making sure everything's in perfect alignment. Reinforcing all those nice, good body mechanics. Chest is proud, core is tight. And rest, does that feel like a lot of them? Maybe, maybe. What else did you have to do? Squeezing the middle here. Letting your hands get involved. Making sure your chest is engaged here. Really squeezing. Always with the abs, right? And rest, then back between the knees, squeezing together here. Squeeze, squeeze, give a little hold in the middle. Good job. Remember, I used to say that if you popped the ball, I'd take you to Starbucks. Offer still holds, but I might have to give you a rain check. And then our squats again. Little double one if you're feeling extra froggy today. If it bothers your knees, remember you can always sit all the way down, stand all the way up. Totally works. And rest. One more round. Right here, squeezing in the middle. Really put your mind in the muscle here. If you have any frustration, now's the time to just squeeze. And rest. In between the knees again, last time, squeeze it. Don't worry about popping it. Move on more. Really engaging those inner thighs, squeezing in. This is the opposite, the kind of the sister move of the penguin where we were pushing out on the bands. We gotta make sure our legs are evenly strong. Adductors, abductors, both working nice and hard to keep everything stable. And rest. Go ahead and sit back down. Or your double tap. Whatever is working best for you today, that's what's best for me. your ball, put it away. Grab a sip of water if you're feeling thirsty, or even if you're not, it's probably a good idea. Then we're going to go here and attach your band. Same thing with a towel, just putting some tension on it if that's all you have. You could maybe go find a bungee cord in the backyard or an old bicycle tire. I'd love to hear what people are using. Press out together. Squeezing the chest in the middle, leaning into it, but keeping your back nice and straight. And one more, rest. Then taking both bands or just one, in one hand, your palm is facing forward, holding that elbow to keep the shoulder nice and steady in the socket, and then pressing out. You want that joint to be supported. Squeezing the back of the arm. Are you feeling that tricep? And switch sides. Right here, holding the elbow, pressing out and away, squeezing. So if you are using some kind of at-home equipment, some unconventional items, I would love to know what you're using. So maybe in the comments, even if you're watching it later, I'll see it pop up. I don't have anything better to do than look at Facebook 20 times a day. No, I do, but I still look at Facebook 20 times a day. I'd love to know what you're using as equipment. Even a photo would be great. Then we'll keep our bands here. Crossing your arms, very important. You're not crossing the bands. That's how you choke yourself. So crossing your arms across your chest, holding the bands, but making sure you have enough slack. And then you're going to exhale down, squeeze and hold at the bottom, slow and controlled back up. Just squeezing those abs. I'd also like to know what projects you're doing around the house. If you're doing maybe some arts and crafts that are interesting. Maybe you've also organized some cupboards, some Tupperware perhaps, if you're really feeling brave. Katie recommended not doing the sheets. She said, ooh, you don't want to open that door. Exhaling down. We still have the garage looming over us. And then if you want to do a few alternating, switching sides, squeezing the side waist, you can do that as well. Full range of motion, exhaling down, inhaling up. And rest. Then we go back to where we started with our chest press. Leaning into it if you would like. Pressing out and together. Squeezing the chest at the top. It's funny because there's always been this list of things that I thought, oh, I would love to do that if I had the time. And now, somehow, I do have the time. So it's really nice to kind of cross some of those things off my list. Kind of feeling like you get a chance to get a head start maybe in life, just getting things really dialed in at home so that when we go back to work or our normal schedules, we kind of have that little boost. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Also, having more time to just rest, to be with our families is nice. I don't know if you guys have seen Tiger King. Everyone's talking about it. The other side, I will tell you that I did watch it, and I probably sat there with my jaw dropped the entire time, but loved it. Loved it. Just like characters, every single person is like a character you could not make up, you know? They're so far out there that you're just like, whoa. Little bit train wreckish, you know, it has that appeal, but man, it is mind-blowing. And rest. Then back to our abs. Crossing your arms, squeezing down. Exhaling down, really squeezing those abs. It's like you're wringing out a wet towel. And then we have the option to go to the sides if we would like. And rest. Now, if I think since we have the opportunity, maybe we'll come to the side so we can just kind of go over a little bit more sort of form-related things in the seated position here. So, with this one, if you want to make it harder, you can scoot forward and lean into it. But see how I'm keeping my back nice and straight? You never want to be here. Always really reinforcing that good posture, pulling the belly button in, holding a little pause in the front. And rest, and then with this one, you're wanting your elbow right in your hand, and then pressing out. Keeping that all engaged, just getting that squeeze at the end. And then the other side. Almost there. And rest. And taking the bands over our shoulders. You can scoot back here. That way you get a little bit more range of motion. And then you're holding on, crossing your arms, not the bands, and exhale and squeeze down. Slow and controlled back up. And then to alternating sides if you would like. Coming back forward here with you. Alternating sides, just a few more. Really squeezing those abs, putting your mind in the muscle, really focusing on it. And rest. take those off. And we've got just a little bit more time before we stretch. And we're going to start with just a single leg extension. So you're pressing your leg out, squeezing that quad, and then bringing it back down. So really easy one to do at home. You don't need any equipment at all, just a chair. Trying to keep your posture good, pulling those abs in. Give it a little pause there. Squeezing the quad. It's really working on all those stabilization muscles. And rest. Then you're going to take your heel, pick it up, and set it down. Working the hip flexor muscle here. Just a little one. And switch sides. Really just feeling that muscle right there working. And rest. Then we're going to go ahead and stand up and hold your chair for support. We just got that little extension here. Squeezing that back glute. Maybe keeping the supporting leg soft. Abs are engaged. And then the other side. Squeezing that glute in the back. Really keeping the core pulled in nice and tight. Good, then have a seat. Grab your ball. Where is it? You're going to take it in both hands and do a little rainbow. Side to side. Also, you could stand up and do it, that's fine. If you would rather, you could really get your legs involved here. You're going to be really sad when I tell you we don't have time for 3 rounds of these. I know, I'm sorry. You can always do 3 rounds on your own. Totally option. Good, then just a little bit of balance work again, right here. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Remember that you can stand in the back and hold your chair if you need, or just have it there so that if you get here and you need support, you can grab it. Totally fine. Trying to give yourself a little pause at the top. You're just kind of trying to hold that. Perfect. Almost there. And switch sides. Remember to try to hold that pause. One more. And rest. We are done with the work portion. We're going to give ourselves a really nice, good stretch though, because if we're kind of more sedentary, we might feel just a little bit more stiffness. And sometimes just having some stress can give you a little bit more tension up in your upper body. So we're going to just work to try to kind of relax it all. So reaching across, giving your arm a little pull. Stretching your shoulder here. Then we'll go ahead and switch sides. Wondering also what music you guys are listening to. I was thinking it's kind of hard not having the music because I talk about the music a lot. I feel like there's a lot of jokes to be made during music. And then take your arms behind your back, pull one elbow up, and then just let your head fall over towards it. It's like you're trying to set your ear on your shoulder. You're not forcing it, you're just letting the gravity kind of gently stretch the side of your neck. And then the other side. Good. Then we're going to take one arm up, right as close to the center of your back as you can. Then grab that elbow, give it a little pull. You can lean over slightly too if you want to stretch the side waist and the lat a little bit. Totally fine. And then the other side, throw it up, grab that elbow, gently give it a little pull. Nothing too crazy. And let's take our hands to our knees, and we'll just let our head fall from side to side. And then maybe add a little half circle. You don't want to go all the way back here. It's a little rough on the neck to go straight back. So just a really gentle side-to-side stretch. Good. And then while your hands are on your knees, we're going to do a little seated cat-cow. So you're going to pull this way, just kind of lean back, look down, and then pull your chest through and look up. So just going between the two stretches, just getting a nice full range of motion for our spine. And then we're going to bring one leg out in front, set our heel down, pull our toes up. Then we're going to find a nice long length through our spine. So like a string is pulling you up, getting your back as straight as you can. And then right from the hip, tip forward till you feel a stretch in the back of the leg. We're stretching our hamstring here. Give it a moment. Let it really loosen up. If you have low back pain, a lot of times that can be from a tight hamstring. So we want to make sure we keep those really nice and stretched. And then the other side, tipping forward, long straight spine, belly button pulled in, toes pulled up. Taking some nice deep breaths. Sometimes we kind of start to do a little shallow breathing when a stretch feels intense, and it's kind of just sending the message to our mind that we're panicking. So long, slow breaths sends that message to our body that we're fine, and it's okay to let go. And then come on up. We're going to kick one leg up and over. We're going to get a little external rotation here. Sometimes it's hard, and we'll be stuck here for a while, but you just let gravity kind of do its work. If it feels like too much intensity to get your foot up there, you can have your leg down a little bit, so you don't have to come up that far. Once you're in this spot, nice, tall, good posture. If you want to feel it a little bit more intensely, you lean forward into it. So just feeling it through your hip and your glute. A little bit of gentle pressure is okay. If it feels, if it feels okay. If it feels good, do it. And then the other side. Kicking it up and over. Finding that external rotation. Sometimes here you'll find that one side feels kind of considerably different than the other. Very normal, but something we just want to be aware of and kind of try to correct. We want to get our body just as evenly strong and stretched as possible. We get one thing is weak, one thing's too tight, you kind of throw off the entire kinetic chain. Everything's connected. So you want to make sure that we're really doing a good job and being very thorough when we're strengthening and stretching our bodies. Come to the side here. You're going to bring one leg back, and you're finding a stretch for that hip flexor. So you remember that muscle that we used when we were picking our foot up and over? We're stretching it here. So we're going the opposite direction, just stretching that front muscle in the front of your thigh. Once you find that stretch, you can grab the chair back, twisting towards it, looking over that back shoulder, just wringing out the spine. And then coming back to center, reaching up and over, drawing the elbow back. And then the other side. First finding the hip flexor stretch, then the twist, looking over the back shoulder, wringing out the spine, and then reaching up and over. And then come back forward, open up your chest, rolling your thumbs back, stretching your biceps, reach around, give yourself a big hug, rocking back and forth into it. Then we're going to take 3 nice big deep breaths and then just have a few minutes of quiet relaxation at the end. That's when you would put on that kind of ambient music. Try to remember, Liquid Mind is the one I like for this little meditation section. You can maybe pause me, take 20 minutes, totally up to you. Meditating is a good thing to kind of put into your practice at this point, I feel like. Deep, full breath up, filling the lungs, hold it for a moment, and then blowing it out. Again, nice, big, deep, full breath up, hold, and let it go. One more. Inhale up, hold, couple more sips of air, and then fully exhale. We're just going to spend a few minutes of quiet reflection here, taking as much time as you want, totally up to you. If you have the time, you're feeling it, just go for it. Otherwise, we'll just relax here together for a while. You can close your eyes or just leave them softly focused. Focusing on your breath. Relaxing a little bit deeper with every exhale. Let's close by just taking this opportunity to, as we always do, focus on our gratitude. I know sometimes having this much time on our hands can be kind of a challenge. We can feel tempted to kind of wander through the wreckage of the past and think about things that have not gone right, or bad decisions we've made, or any number of things that kind of can add a little bit of stress. Let's try not to do that. Let's try to not dwell on things that we can't change. But maybe spend that time reflecting on some really beautiful parts of your life that you've really enjoyed. Because man, that can really bring you a lot of joy. I've been telling my kids a lot of stories about my childhood that, just kind of spontaneously come up, which I've just really been enjoying having that time. But also maybe not worrying too much about the future, because we don't know exactly what's going on right now. We've never been through anything like this, so it's kind of this new, kind of stressful, obviously, situation. But let's use this time to really practice just staying super mindful of being present in the moment that we're in right now. Because that's really all we have for sure is right now, and we don't want to waste it. We don't want to waste it in the past. We We don't want to waste it stressing about things that may happen in the future because we have no idea how it's going to unfold. And let's just focus on being here and being super grateful that we have the opportunity to kind of reassess our lives or refocus our lives and really focus on right here, right now, and all the gratitude we have for just everything that we have in our life, even when it's not ideal. We're going to take one more nice big deep breath together as a group. Inhale up, filling your lungs, and then blow it out. And you're done. You've done your work, and feel free to do it again later this week if you want. And of course, I'll be back next week to check in and say hi. I hope you guys are having a great time. Please comment with anything, because I missed you. Bye. Thank you. Good work.